Hello everyone, my name is Sethi. I hope you all are staying healthy. Today we are going to talk about Uzawa two-sector growth model. Hirofumi Uzawa extended one sector model of Solo Swan into two-sector model by dividing economy into consumer goods sector and investment goods sector. Consumer goods sector produce goods for consumption, but investment goods sector produce capital goods like machinery. Both sectors use labor and capital, but with the different intensities. This is key element of this model. Assumptions: two goods, consumer goods and capital goods, two input, two sector, factor mobility. That means labor and capital can freely move between the sector. Constant return to scale. That means if you double your input, your output will also double. Fixed coefficient. That means production factors are used in fixed proportion within each sector. Full employment, perfect competition. In this model, we use neoclassical technology and closed economy, means we don't talk about international trade. Now we'll see key point of this model. In this model, we assume population, or you can say labor, grow at a fixed percentage over time without any limit. So here LT represent labor force, which we assume grow at a constant proportionate rate. L not represent initial labor force. E simply represent base of natural logarithm. N represent constant proportionate growth of population. T represent time. In short, this equation represent population or labor grow at fixed percentage over a time period. In this equation, K star represent change in capital, Y represent output or income. In closed economy, income either consume or save, and saving is equal to investment. That's why this Y represent gross investment in new capital, and delta K represent capital depreciation. According to this equation, change in capital stock is difference between gross investment in new capital and loss of capital because of depreciation. This model talks about two sector, investment sector and consumer sector. Y1 output of investment sector, K1 capital of investment sector, L1 labor of investment sector. Y2 output of consumer sector, K2 L2 capital and labor of consumer goods sector. So Y is a total aggregate output, or you can say Y is national income, which is equal to Y2 plus P into Y1. Here Y2 is output of consumer sector, Y1 output of investment sector. P represent relative price of investment goods in terms of consumer goods. Why we multiply P with the output of investment sector but not with the output of consumer sector? Because consumer choose goods for immediate utility. They do not decide direct capital formation, but output of investment sector directly related to capital formation. That's why we multiply P with the output of investment sector. Here K is equal to total capital. K1 capital used in sector 1 means investment sector, and K2 means capital used in consumer sector. Similar, labor, total labor, which is equal to L1 plus L2. L1 labor used in investment sector, L2 labor in consumer sector. In Uzawa model, we calculate marginal productivity of capital and marginal productivity of labor by taking partial derivative of production function in each sector. Here you can see this is marginal productivity of labor in investment sector, which is equal to partial derivative of production function with respect to labor. Similar, this is marginal productivity of labor in consumer sector. This is marginal productivity of capital in investment sector. This is marginal productivity of capital in consumer sector. Marginal productivity of labor in consumer sector, marginal productivity of labor in investment sector. We multiply marginal productivity of investment sector with the P. We have already discussed why we multiply investment sector with the P, but marginal productivity of both sector will equal to each other. Obviously, either you apply labor on consumer sector or investment sector, their marginal productivity will remain same. And marginal productivity of both sector is equal to wages, which represent by W, because we pay wages to workers according to their marginal productivity. Similar, this is marginal productivity of capital in consumer sector, and this is marginal productivity of capital in investment sector. and marginal productivity of both sector is equal to rental rate of capital, which is represented by R. In this equation, P, price of investment goods in terms of consumer goods, Y1, total output of investment goods sector, S, fraction of total income that is saved or invested, Y is the total per capita income, or you can say the output of entire economy. This difference shows instability. That's why for equilibrium, these two should equal to each other. That means value of investment goods must equal to total saving for equilibrium according to this model. W, wage rate, R, rental rate of capital. This ratio called wage rental ratio, or you can say that this ratio called factor price ratio. This ratio help to know relative price of factor. That's why wage rental ratio help to determine the capital labor ratio within each sector. With the help of this ratio, you can know how much capital or labor you should apply in each sector in order to maximize profit and minimize the cost. What is condition of stability according to Uzawa model? Condition of stability is consumer goods sector must be more capital intensive as compared to investment goods sector. Capital labor ratio in consumer goods sector, capital labor ratio in investment goods sector. Capital labor ratio more in consumer goods sector, that means consumer goods sector is more capital intensive. As we know, demand in consumer goods sector more as compared to investment goods sector. If consumer goods sector is more capital intensive, that means companies are using more capital. As a result, demand of capital increase, eventually cost of capital increase, capital will become more expensive. That's why businesses will start using labor. As demand for labor increase, employment increase, income increase, eventually economy move towards growth, or you can say that eventually economy move towards stability. Now we'll see a diagram which shows how two sector operate simultaneously. Investment sector, consumer sector. This production function belongs to investment sector. This production function belongs to consumer sector. Capital to labor ratio, wage rental ratio. We have already discussed what is wage rental ratio. WI, WC shows price ratio of labor to capital for each sector. EI, EC shows production equilibrium in each sector. We are using K star capital in order to produce YI star output in investment sector. Same K star capital we are using in consumer sector in order to produce YC star output. Here you can see with the same capital, consumer sector is giving a less output. That means capital is less effective in consumer sector. We need to make a high level of capital investment. This will increase capital cost. That's why firm will start using more labor. As a result, employment income increase. Eventually, economy move towards stability, or you can say that growth. Now we'll see criticism. According to this model, there is fixed coefficient of factor of production, but this is not always true. According to this model, there is a perfect factor mobility, but there are so much restriction. Factor of production are not easily movable from one sector to other sector. For stability, this model assumes consumer goods sector must more capital intensive. So many economists criticize this condition because according to them, this is not a right condition for moving towards stability. This model assumes full employment. There is not always full employment. This model assumes perfect competition. There is not always perfect competition. This model assumes constant return to scale, but we not always achieve constant return to scale. According to this model, all saving automatically invested, but this model don't talk about complexity of household demand. So this is all about today's video. I think you got it, and thank you so much for watching this video. Bye, take care.